Hey folks, it's December 2011. My name is Dan Gage and I make harmonica videos. It's the holidays and I've been thinking about making this video for over a year now. I get a lot of emails from folks asking me, they say, Dan, what harmonica should I buy first? So this video is geared towards beginners and folks who are going to buy someone a harmonica as a gift. You know, a harmonica makes a nice gift, and maybe you're thinking about getting one from someone special, you know, for whatever the occasion. Maybe you're thinking about getting into playing the harmonica and you're really not sure what to do. And there's quite a few things to it. So I want to make it easy for you folks to figure out what to do. This video is going to break down into 4 parts for you guys. The first part is types of harmonica. The second part is harmonica models, a couple of models to look for when you're going out shopping. Part 3 is going to be about first keys, what keys to buy, and part 4 is talking about some of your options for retail. A few years ago I made a video, and it turned out that a bunch of those sites ended up being out of date pretty quickly after that. So this will be an updated, fresh version for 2011. So let's get into it. Harmonica types. So you may be a novice, you may be thinking, hey, it's a great time to buy someone a harmonica as a gift, and you walk into some store and it's just a shiny little thing. Now, just as a stringed instrument like a guitar or a violin or even an upright bass, they work on generally the same principle of a plucked string. But they all sound very different from one another. There's different tonalities that play differently. Just as that is the case with stringed instruments, harmonicas have a variety of types. So a lot of folks will go in and they will buy one type of harmonica when they might have intended to play a different type of harmonica. For example, my lessons generally focus on what is known as a 10-hole diatonic harmonica. Okay, there are 10 holes, 2 reeds per hole, and these are what's commonly used for folk, jazz, blues, not as much jazz, rock and roll. This is kind of what they call the blues harp. This is what you're looking for when you hear someone say, I'd like a blues harp. I want to get into, and honestly, this is sort of more common where you're going to, you know, maybe get someone as a gift and they'll find lessons on YouTube, for example. But there are other types as well. Another type that folks might like, but it's a different instrument, it sounds different, is what's called a chromatic harmonica. Now, unlike the diatonic harmonica, the chromatic harmonica has all the flat notes because there are multiple reeds, 4 per hole, and this little slide here lets you get sharps and flats. So, but it's a different instrument. The diatonic harmonica is going to have a sound that a lot of folks are familiar with. Maybe it's a folky sound. Or maybe it's a bluesy sound. Okay, that's the harmonica, that's that sound that we hear in a lot of our popular music. Now the chromatic harmonica is a different, you know, it's still a harmonica and it still has reeds inside, but it works, you know, on the same principle, but there's a little more to it. In this case, they've put all the sharps and flat notes in. This is a smaller B flat chromatic, and also it just sounds different. It's a different instrument. So you can, you know, a lot of folks will use this, I mean, when they play jazz. There's a few folks doing classical music because all the notes are there without advanced techniques. But to me it sounds very French, more like an accordion, which is also a reeded instrument. So they're also more expensive. And that's something when you're looking at gifts. It's a really nice chromatic harmonica might be great for a more serious musician or someone who's already into the harmonica. But for that one-time gift, it might be a little much, whereas a diatonic harmonica might be more like what they're looking for. And another type of harmonica, there's many types, but I only have a couple because I focus on the diatonic harmonica. It's what they call, this is a tremolo harmonica, and you'll see these tremolo octavy harmonicas, and frankly, I made a video on it. I don't even know what to do with these. Okay, and not a lot of the videos that you see on YouTube that are mostly geared towards diatonic harmonicas are going to be really useful. So for the purpose of this, when we go into the next part of this video, we're going to keep talking about the diatonic harmonica. In the same way that there's many different types of harmonicas, there are also a lot of different manufacturers and manufacturers' models of harmonicas. For the average person, the biggest company you're going to come across is called Hohner. And one of the first harmonicas you're going to see is the classic, the Hohner Marine Band. This is what the box looks like. I've seen a lot of folks buy this for a gift, and it's a great harmonica. It's the classic blues harp that they used, for many, many years because there weren't so many models back in the day. I think they sound great. I think they play great. I keep them around, and I play them on stage. It's a great, solid harmonica to buy someone for a gift. And another one you might come across, it's not a Hohner. It's called Lee Oskar. You'll see these in a lot of music stores around. Lee Oskar makes a solid harmonica. Not one of my favorites, but a lot of pros will play them. They've got some nifty little things, so they label them a little bit better, and they're decent harps. Another one that you might come across, Hohner makes, is called Hohner Big River. It's a little more affordable, but very playable. Again, another plastic comb harmonica, very solid. And there are more that you will also encounter. My favorite is called the Hohner Special 20. You'll see these pretty much everywhere. And there are other companies, but you don't see them as much retail. You'll see them more online. Companies like Herring and Suzuki and even Huang. There's a company called Huang. But for the most part, you folks are just getting into it. Hohner's what you're going to come across. General rule of thumb, though, don't pay less than $10 for a harmonica. It's probably going to be a little more trouble than it's worth. So keep that in mind when you go out shopping for your first harmonica or for a harmonica as a gift. So let's move on to talk about another aspect of buying a harmonica. We touched briefly on different types of harmonicas, and we're going to keep focused on the diatonic 10-hole harmonica. We touched on models of harmonica, ones that you're going to commonly come across, and there's many more. And if you get into it, you can have a lot of fun shopping. And watch my next video that's going to be about a bunch of different harmonicas that I bought just for this. But there's another aspect of harmonicas that a lot of people don't understand, and that's the concept of key. Now, I've made videos on the concept of key, but for this video, I'm just going to let you know that harmonicas, diatonic harmonicas, and chromatics for that matter, come in different musical keys. So you'll notice stamped on the box a letter that denotes a different musical key. There's a B flat, here's an A flat, here's a C. Now, a point to make for you folks is that we don't always play a harmonica in the same key as the music. Now, in some cases we do. Folk stuff like Bob Dylan, the musical key is going to be the same often as the harmonica key. But for blues, more often than not, the harmonica key is going to be different than the key of the music. So if you've got someone who's saying they play music in G, they want to play the blues, actually get them a C harp. And there's a lot of instructions about that. And as you folks learn, you can get into that more. But I want to make that point. Harmonicas come in different keys. What key should I buy? Well, I say start with C. If you're going to gift someone, start with C. It's right in the middle of the range. There's a lot more instructional material that's written to the key of C. And you're going to see more models, more of the lower end models that come in only C, maybe the ones that don't come in every key. Your next question is going to be, where am I going to buy a harmonica? Well, there are two major options. The first one is online. The second one is at a retail store. Now, retail stores might be a big musical retailer like Guitar Center, or perhaps I've seen some harmonicas sometimes at like a Target, a big box store, or maybe your local music store. First off, beware of guitar players giving harmonica advice. Just as you may have just learned that harmonicas come in different keys, I've encountered many harmonica players, many guitar players who don't know that harmonicas come in different keys. So in general, use the internet as a resource and be wary of the guys at the Guitar Center who tell you what harmonica you need to buy. Also, watch out for price. There is a pretty good markup on harmonicas, and the price is usually negotiable. So if you're going the retail route, make sure you shop around online and have a little bit to haggle with so you don't get fleeced on the harmonica you're buying as a gift. The other option is to buy a harmonica online, and this is a favorite option, especially when folks get a little more serious and want to check out more variety of harmonicas. Like I said, you're going to see Lee Oscars, you're going to see Honors, but you're not going to see Seidel. You're not going to necessarily see a lot of Suzuki harps. And there's a lot of great products out there, but they just don't sell them retail in stores. So give it a shot and go online, and here's a couple places to check out. The first one is my favorite. It's called Coast to Coast Music. Type that into your web search and check it out. They have tons of harmonica resources and a lot of good deals on harmonicas and special closeouts, and you can just go crazy shopping for them and pick out a whole bunch of harmonicas. I mentioned earlier that there's different types of harmonicas, and they'll sell you an orchestral or a chord harmonica or a bass harmonica. Another one is called Rock and Ron's Music for Less. Rock and Ron's is very popular in the harmonica community right now. Great fast turnaround on shipping, great service. I haven't used them yet, but everyone says that Rock and Ron's is great. There's Harmonica 411, run by a fellow named Jeff Silverman. He does a pretty nice business, has a lot of specials. Great to be on his list. Check out Harmonica 411. And you can also use the big stores like Musician's Friend, or there's one called Sweetwater Music. They all sell harmonicas, and it's fun to shop around and check it out. So for the most part, folks, I think you're going to be looking for that first harmonica, and it's going to be a 10-hole diatonic harmonica. It's going to be about $30–35, and you're going to get it in the key of C, or gift it in the key of C, and that's the place to start. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more, and those of you that are not beginners, I'm going to make a video right now, probably take the hat off, about a bunch of different types of harmonicas that I've collected. So stay tuned for that, Harmonica Buying Guide Part 2. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and if you watch this and it's the summertime, I hope you have a great holiday season then too. At least we have 4th of July in the U.S. So thanks again for watching. My name is Dan Gage, and we'll see you next time.